Now it's time to talk about chapter 25, which opens with the best quote. Watching The Sound of Music is like being beaten to death by a Hallmark card. Well, if people didn't know your original feelings about this movie before, certainly they're going to get it right away from the beginning. And I know it's all in good fun now, but wasn't there a point where...
There's a point where I really loathed the whole project because also they weren't doing me justice. And for my singing, which I was very anxious to do well, and they wanted me to suddenly record before I was ready, at the very beginning of the film, instead of waiting to the end, where I would have been much readier. And I threatened to walk off the picture. I said, the whole reason I did this was to do a musical, for Christ's sake, not because I liked the script. You must be mad. And I wasn't a popular guy, but I was threatened with I could have been threatened with a lawsuit, so my agent firmly told me to report back to work and stop behaving like a diva.
But you had never sung before professionally,
No.
not even in the shower. So what made you think you could do a musical in the first place?
Well, I am musical. I'm by nature, I play the piano, and I love music, and music was my first love, actually, before the theater was mine. So I have an ear, and I thought I could sing with the best of them. If I could croon a tune and carry it, why not? And of course my voice wasn't as good as Julie's. So they got somebody to take care of the long sustained passages. Fine with me. And Bob Wise was right. When I saw it, I said, yeah, no, it doesn't particularly match. No, go ahead, So they kept some of my intros and then melded into this guy who was very talented, who sang it very well.
And considering how you felt about it, it must have just driven you nuts how that's all anyone wants to talk to you about. I mean, you're introduced as the guy from The Sound of Music.
Oh yes, that's a big, it's a big thing. You see, most people don't go and see the great things in life. Not that I'm saying I'm great, but they don't go and see the finer things because subtlety and nuance and that kind of excitement has sort of left the world. I don't know. A few go now still. There's a lot of public who love the theater and would go and see a strange and interesting movie. It makes me wonder sometimes if Sound of Music was the only film they'd ever seen, ever. But I'm very grateful to it because it made me well known. And at least it gave me some sort of name, and I could use that name to help me do projects that I wanted to.
So you've come to terms with it?
Oh yes, and I came to terms with it pretty soon. I mean, I'm not a fool, but again, it's not altogether divine to know that one of your most mediocre performances is the most famous thing you've ever done.
When you write a book like this, which is virtually from birth to the current time, and you've had to look back at your life, what do you think about the life that you've had?
Oh, I think I'm extraordinarily lucky. I know that there's no use to sort of cry spilled milk about things that one didn't get, that one wanted.